Hello everyone. Today we're doing startup investment analysis using Tableau. We were given the data in Excel and I've loaded that into Tableau. Check the clean with data interpreter check mark. And there's two sheets in the Excel. There's financials and the overview of the companies. So I've joined those two sheets on ID. And the data, it was in a columnar form, whereas each column had 2030 in profit for each of the companies. So I've pivoted that and I've created this pivot with all of that data 2013 expenses, profit, revenue, going so forth up until 2015. And then there's this values that I've included in the pivot as well. Once the data was pivoted, I have broken down the this column into two different columns, namely the year, which is a data type, and finally the measure, which is the measure of that name. And once I was done with this pre-processing, I went on to check the revenue of the companies. I've sorted this in an descending order in terms of revenue, and I've chosen 15 million to 20 million as the range for the color because those are the only companies that we're trying to focus on. We're just focusing on high value companies. Here we have also included the filter for the revenue and the filter for the year if you want to see in a certain year whether a company was doing well, uh, and that changes. Going ahead, talking about the expenses, here the lesser the expenses, it is better. So that's why we have expenses in here, and the higher expenses are going to be in red. Talking about the profit, I've used a heat map here, which makes more sense. The size and the intensity of the color, it is going to show the higher profit companies. Again, I've stuck to the same theme of green and gold. Finally, talking about the growth percentage, we just had data for 3 years, so growth percentage is only going to be in 2014 and 2015, and we're not going to consider 2013. And the growth value ranges from 53% to 760%. So that's a very wide range that we want to tackle. And generally, we want to ignore the lower range growth companies because that's not something we're looking for investment. Finally, I've put that all in a dashboard, and as you can see, there's revenue, and each of the sheet filters on just clicking on like one of the companies. And the approach I've taken in this one is I want to maximize the profit. I only want to invest in profitable companies. So I'll click on any of the profitable companies. As you can see here, the revenue is around $14 million, and the expenses are in excess of 20 million, almost $21 million. So there is a clear discrepancy in the records of this company. I will not choose to invest in this company, and also it does not have a very high growth percentage. Coming to my next company, my Celluminite, it is again a high revenue company, but the expenses are also on the higher side, and the growth percentage is not very great. I'm going to again ignore this company. Coming to Roundla, great profit, upwards of $18 million, and expenses are not as high. The growth percentage is great, and go forward and invest in this. So put this all in a story where I talk about the companies that I chose to invest in. So we've gone through the first four. Nescafe Shameless, again, good numbers. I'll go ahead and invest in it. Ruby Pichuari, not very high growth. Ignore it. Nomaki, great. Go ahead and invest. Same for XX BAM, Reliable Paver, and Conkdom. So all of these companies are great to invest in. And here you can click the to apply a filter and you can apply the filters. This one's for the profit, uh, expenses, and revenue, and you can check on that. And as you can see, it does not affect the growth percentage because we wanted to keep that separate. And there's also the name filter where you can filter depending on the name of the company. And once you have the name, you can just go ahead and click on it, and that will filter the rest of the records. I'll just clear this out. Once the companies were chosen, I just put them out on a map. As you can see, there's nothing much in the central region which is expected. You can also see the industries they're coming from. So if you check ID services, there's California, that makes sense, and Roundla. And other industry filters can also be applied. Once the map was completed, I have gone ahead and I've created a breakdown of each of the companies, starting with Nomaki. The year it was founded in, the number of employees, their expenses. As it's in the construction industry, I see that the expenses are a bit on the higher side, which makes sense. Kongdom, again, 172 employees, consumer products, good revenue, good expenses because of the high number of employees, and growth percentage is good. Nescafe Shameless, high number of employees, again, makes sense for logistics and transportation company and the relevant expenses as well. Reliable Paywall, uh, they've good number of employees, IT services, that's why their expenses are a bit on the higher side. And finally, coming to Roundla, 1,500 employees, 800K worth of expenses, great growth rate. XXBAM, again, operates in the software industry coming out of Florida, and it has great growth potential as well. So, this was my investment analysis. I hope you liked it, and you can find this video on Tableau Public, this dashboard as well. Thank you.